Hey everyone. This is for people who were CYSP advisors last year. This is just updating you with stuff that's changed, obviously, since we're doing learning from home like we did at the end of last year. There's just some changes I wanted to go over with you. Hopefully, you all come back. Some easy money. It's also a way for like these kids to be doing something productive while they're just basically sitting at home doing nothing. One of the first biggest changes is progress monitoring. Obviously, we can do it now over. We should be using Google Meet since or not CYSP, Concept basically, or our school has said that we're only using Google Meet. So just stay on there and meet with your students. Another change is that only us as advisors can enter progress monitoring meetings into their logbook under progress monitoring. So my suggestion to you would be to do one big meeting with all of your the kids that you have, and then right at the end you can just go in and add it all into their logbook. That way you're not having to worry about doing it a bunch of different times. Extracurricular activities. This is where we hope that some people will be holding virtual clubs. I know I will be holding a virtual club, but I will limit the amount of like kids who can like come into it. If they're not going to be in any sort of virtual club, there's edX and this other website. I haven't really looked at this other website. edX is pretty straightforward. Basically, it has to be a certificate program where you can earn a certificate, but obtaining a certificate is not a requirement. The reason they're doing this is because so I, for free, was able to enroll in the Civil War and Reconstruction Birth of Freedom, which is a class that they are probably not going to want to take. However, I'm able to basically do the entire class myself. And then at the end, it asks if you want a certificate, and that's when they ask you for money. So it's free to take the class, but if you want the certificate, you have to pay the money. So that's why in here they're saying that it needs to be a certificate program, but obtaining a certificate is not a requirement. So what I would just tell my students is, hey, if you did any edX hours, like also just send me an email with, the last screen that says you finished it all. There's a bunch of different courses to this edX website. It's not just history stuff, although like that's the one I like just chose to see what this website actually had to have. They obviously need to make a profile, but it's very simple. Like I said, it's completely free. There's plenty of different stuff if this would actually load for kids to do. A lot of stuff with like computers, especially now with all of us having to work from home and use a computer. That's always nice. But basically it has just a bunch of different courses. Make sure it's appropriate and make sure that, they give you a heads up of what they're doing before they actually do it. Just so you can make sure that they're doing something that they should be doing. Okay, so that takes care of our extracurricular activities. Character education. The thing with this is you need to have at least 3 participants. So if you only end up having one student, like you're an advisor to one student, you may want to talk to some other advisors to figure out a way that you can kind of like split up doing character education, because it has to be done with an advisor. Again, just focus on Google Meet. That's what CMSA said we're using. I wouldn't go with anything else. But yeah, an advisor has to be on there. So when they're logging it, they should have like a specific advisor that they went on there with. It doesn't have to be their advisor necessarily. It could be someone else's, but it needs to be at least 3 other students and then the advisor. I will try to throw some of these together as well throughout the year. I'm especially going to use that Friday that we have in order to put on a few character education classes. Any other teachers that would like to help out with that, that would be greatly appreciated. If there are enough teachers to help out, maybe we can make some sort of document to basically split it up so that all of our kids can get their character education slot done. Weekend enrichment program. If you want to meet with your mentees over the weekend, cool, go right ahead. But you still have to do something with them. You can't just like obviously meet with them and just count it as weekend enrichment. It's basically doing any of this stuff on the weekend. So if you want to do that, go right ahead. I do not plan on doing any of this stuff, at least as a full as a full group, just because it's not really necessary. We can definitely get this all done during the week. It really doesn't make a difference if it's the weekend because we're still all going to be at home. They're going to be at home as well. So there's that. Standardized test preparation, big change here. So before, test preparation could be done just by going by a teacher during their office hours and kind of just getting some help, especially with like SAT stuff. However, they're only allowing stuff from like Khan Academy, Study Island, stuff that we've used before. I'm probably just going to send kids to Khan Academy and make them do SAT prep, even if they're like freshmen, just because, you know, that's something they should be working on. Middle school, you can just kind of like tell them to do different Khan Academy assignments. You can give them different Khan Academy assignments. That's what I would focus on, is what our schools used. If you have something different, you can email me and I will email the like head person of CYSP to see if it's accepted. But I mean, just to be easy, I would just stick with Khan Academy. Community service is kind of weird because obviously we don't want to encourage our students to go out and interact with other people and spread germs. So I think the big thing I'm going to focus on is basically if there is some sort of task I can give to a CYSP student, whether it's I don't know, just something that will help me with teaching my online classes. Like, I mean, not necessarily grading, but maybe help with like putting numbers together and data. I will definitely give them credit for doing that. The other thing is like online tutoring. So if they're able to prove to me somehow that they tutored some kid online through a Google Meet, whether it be, even if it's like tutoring their brother or sister, I'll take that basically. Just like some sort of way that they're helping out other kids at the school. And then the other one is like writing letters to, those serving in the armed forces and stuff. This one's pretty easy. I found a website. It took me like 2 seconds to Google it. I think it's actually set in Europe, but like that's fine to me. It's basically you write letters to the elderly that may want to, like talk to kids. It's basically it's anonymous. They're able to do it if they do like an hour of those. You can count them doing an hour of those. Maybe at least ask for a screenshot just to like double check that they were actually even on the website. But if you just look up on Google, just like, you can write to kids in, or people in, isolation now that are, quarantining, stuff like that, armed forces, that all counts. So I'll probably focus on basically online tutoring, writing letters, and then like helping out basically with other teachers. All this other stuff to me is spreading germs, packaging supplies for people, spreading germs, delivering supplies, spreading germs. Knitting blankets and hats, again, spreading germs, so I don't encourage those because I don't want people to get sick. Virtual education field trip. These are another one you can just kind of Google. You can be on Google Meet and basically like, watch a YouTube video that's like a virtual, trip about a different country, stuff like that. Again, this is something that has to be done with an advisor. So it can't just be like, oh, well, Joey watched Black Panther and now he's fine. It's like, no, you actually have to like be there with them. Also, that's like a bad example. You can't just watch that. And then also keep in mind for like cultural exposure. Oh, I skipped over cultural exposure. This again, done with an advisor. It can be done virtually, like over Google Meet. You could be, again, watching a video. You could be reading an article and discussing it. But for this stuff now, they now have to fill out this reflection form. I'll make Google Docs of this so you can make copies of it and easily give it to your kids. But basically, they're very easy questions to ask. Same thing with the educational trip. Virtual college and university visits. Hopefully, this will be easier for the reason that they're going to obviously hopefully put together virtual college visits for the juniors, and then hopefully your kid can just jump onto those. Obviously, if you're middle school, these really don't apply to you. But for the high school people, you can do that. You can also, if you're an advisor, you can plan one yourself if you want to go, above and beyond. There's some bonus activities, but I don't know if we're going to have robotics. I don't think we're going to have science fairs. I don't think we're going to have like math and technology competitions online. Like it wants you to attend them even virtually. I don't even think they're going to happen. If they do though, if your kid attends it virtually, they can get some bonus points for that. If they try to enroll in the Congressional Award and getting at least a bronze certificate, they can get some bonus activity for that. They just got to follow the website, sign up for stuff, follow the directions, and go through there. Future legacy stuff, I still have to meet with the person in charge of this later on this week and go over it. This is only for seniors, and they need to get gold. I don't think we had necessarily any students really be able to do a lot with this, so I'm hoping the meeting I have later this week will figure out more stuff. But from what I heard, a lot of our seniors last year were not actually doing any of this stuff and weren't interacting with the people they were supposed to interact with. Besides that, there's also parent engagement. I guess this year it might be easier because their parent can be there. So if you're going to hang out with your mentee and their parent, cool. They get some bonus points for parent engagement. Basically, if they're with you during these meetings, it counts as parental engagement. So yeah, if you want to do some sort of weekend enrichment thing with a student and their parent, go right ahead. That's basically it for all of the CYSP stuff that's changed. I can quickly show you. This will obviously be in the Google Drive, but I can quickly show you just what some of the numbers are. So this is 5th and 6th grade. This is 2021. The rest of them say 2019 to 2020, but the people that sent me this obviously just didn't fix it. So 5th and 6th grade, here's 7th and 8th grade. For the most part, I don't think a lot of these numbers have changed. I think they've gone down maybe just a tiny bit, the number they need to get to gold. But then here's 9, 10, and 11. They usually have the most to get to with all their stuff. And then there's 12th grade. But like I said, this will be in the Google Drive that I'll send to you if you respond back to this email. So if there's any other questions, there's going to be a second video going out for new teachers. And then later on, I will also hold kind of a Q&A session. But if you just have basic questions, obviously you can email me at any point. So thank you.